Hey, welcome into Sports Night. I'm Jake Hibbard. That's our sponsor, and welcome in to the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah, I like the clip. Let's take a look at the 3A playoff bracket, where Star Valley is just 3 wins away from a 4th straight state title. They'll face off against Buffalo 3 o'clock tomorrow in Afton. On the other side of the bracket, Riverton is the number 1 team facing number 4 Green River. That's 6 o'clock in Riverton. Number 2, Cody, out of the West, faces number 3, Douglas at 6 o'clock in Cody, and Lander hosts Jackson in the 2 versus 3 game in a match that will decide the opponent of the winner of Star Valley and Buffalo. And heck, while we're at it, let's take a look at the other classes in Wyoming, because in a couple of weeks, SVI will again be heading up to Laramie to give you the live video coverage of state. Now, of course, will be available only via the NFHS networks. Boo. But if you've seen my live cut-ins throughout the year of what the camera crew normally is like at the NFHS.
Do you see a blurry camera? That means it's 1A 9-man action.
Well, will be an upgrade. In 6, it's Little Snake River and the Field. The Rattlers have beaten every opponent by at least 31 points, and that includes a Week 1 53-8 win over the other number 1 seed, Burlington. In 9A, Pine Bluffs is again the favorite, but there is another undefeated in Graybull on the west. 2A is headlined by Mountain View on the west, led by Justice Platts, and Bighorn on the east, led by the big-bodied receiver of Braxton Dope. We missed out on this championship matchup last year when Justice Platts was injured in the playoffs. I and many others are hoping we get a chance to see it this year. And in 4A, Sheridan is the only undefeated team and looking for a 5th straight title, but their winning streak was challenged this year. 3 teams, Central, Natrona County, and Thunder Basin, played Sheridan to a single score, and Campbell County was up 10-0 on the Bronx a couple of weeks ago before Sheridan ripped off 4 unanswered touchdowns. It could be a fun year in the playoffs in 4A. But back to 3A and back to the task at hand for head coach McKay Young tomorrow, the Buffalo Bison. This isn't a matchup we are ever going to see outside of the playoffs. In fact, this will be just meeting number 9. The first 2, 1961 and 1980, were in championship games, both won by Star Valley. Then in 2005, Buffalo and Star Valley played in the 4A state title, Buffalo winning. And since then, they've met in the playoffs in 2007, 2009, 2011, 2012, and most recently in 2023, Buffalo fell 30-19 in the semifinals to the eventual state champs. Enrollment of Buffalo is 345 students in the high school this year. They are the smallest 3A football team. In fact, the largest 2A school, Pinedale, has a slightly larger enrollment this year at 347, and Worland, the second largest 2A football team, isn't far behind at 327 for the 25-26 school year. That being said, Buffalo is a football town that has historically played well above their weight class. As a tweener team, Buffalo has been in the 3A classification for football for the past 6 seasons. They made back-to-back state title appearances in 2A in 2018 and 19, winning in 18, before moving back up to 3A. Since then, Buffalo has made the playoffs 4 of 6 years, including this season. They were a Final Four team in 2022 and 23. In that time, the Bison have outperformed programs with more than double their enrollment, such as Evanston and Green River, who have just 3 playoff appearances and 1 Final Four showing combined over the same period. A program like Buffalo has been built on tradition and hard hitting, and also maximizing the talent given. 2-way players are just a way of life in Buffalo, no matter whether you're a left guard, a wide receiver, or a quarterback like quarterback safety linebacker Hayden Geis, this year's signal caller. When you're playing with a varsity roster in the neighborhood of 30 like Buffalo is, staying healthy is so important, and unfortunately for them, Buffalo hasn't. Junior running back Brody Barron was the second leading rusher last year behind Tommy Wonka, but has been injured for a good portion of this year. After an early season injury, he returned for the first week of conference play against Rollins on September 26th and had 117 yards on 11 carries before taking a big hit in the second half, and he hasn't returned since. Number 21, Brendan Packard, number 9, Cruz Morales, and number 8, Bradley Burke have been some of the folks filling in at running back. Number 2, the senior receiver and defensive back, James Inott, was the second leading receiver from a year ago, and this year was the unquestioned playmaking leader. And unfortunately for Buffalo, he too has been sidelined. Here you can see him in the dreaded jersey jeans combo last week against Lander. That number 5 next to him is sophomore defensive back Lucan Smith, who is another playmaker sidelined as of last week. When Einot is in, he's a dynamic slot player. Of course, he led the team by a mile with 41 receptions, but the Bison also like to use a lot of flex action that utilized him as a spread slot back in the running game. He's also the team's kick and punt returner and third leading defensive point getter. If Barron and Enid are unavailable tomorrow, then quarterback Hayden Geis might be their most dangerous running weapon. If Enid isn't there as Geis's favorite slot target, number 3 Cooper Jones and number 11 Ezekiel Ramirez should work as the primary pass catchers. The Bison run 10 personnel with 4 receivers about 90% of the time, with a little 20 personnel, usually an H-back out of the pistol, mixed in to give them a lead blocker in the running game. And because we don't see this a ton, we should mention Buffalo's kick game. Alejandro Sanchez is one of the better kickers in the 3A classification, with a field goal long of 42 yards on the season. And we have an early kickoff tomorrow in Afton, don't forget. 3 o'clock, 2:25 pregame on SVI News. And quickly, I also want to give a shout out to Colton Cranny, who became the 4th consecutive Star Valley racer to win the individual state title this past week in Cheyenne. The boys ended up taking 2nd overall and the girls finished 4th. Congratulations to all of you. And finally, you guys know me as Sports Night on Thursday, highlights on Friday, but the game for Star Valley is also played on Friday, so I never get to be highlight guy for Star Valley. But as our season starts to wind down and the plays have started to stack up, I feel like as your Friday highlight person, I owe a little bit of the same treatment to the Star Valley season. A little bit of top energy. Starting off with number 10, all the way back to week 1. Star Valley versus Shelley. You see Cooper Lancaster go in motion there. That's not where the ball's going. Tip drill, Roman Erickson grabs the touchdown, put Star Valley up 26-7. They would win that one 33-7. Number 9, Powell. Cooper Lancaster picks this one up. Homecoming game just started, just ended too. Look at that blocking. Oh, and you want to catch Cooper? Bye-bye.
Can't say enough about that kick return. Lancaster had to hurdle over a tackler about the midfield line to get up the sideline, but what a job by the blockers.
Number 8, we go to Green River. Roman Erickson on the edge. Pick 6. But can it be a thick 6 if Roman's a receiver? Number 7, we go to Sugar Salem week 2. Star Valley down 1 touchdown. Sugar Salem driving, running out the clock. Caleb Erickson gets there first. Roman Erickson comes in to help. Drew Morgan comes in as well. We call that leg drive. Sugar Salem would turn it over on downs. More on that game later. Number 6, we just gave a shout out to the defense getting things done against Sugar Salem. How about the offensive line and lead block of Kyan Watson? I don't know if we're looking for a nickname for this O-line, guys, but I got a wiener dog. They call him Dachshunds in German. It means badger hound. He can dig a tunnel under a fence in 5 seconds. Maybe we call this O-line Das Hoons. Number 5, Evanston, week 7. Phoenix Hovey goes to Cooper Lancaster on the screen. Starting to run out of room. Lancaster just gets away from the defense. Hey, you guys ever play Tecmo Bowl? Were you allowed to use Bo Jackson? Can we get the music? Number 4. Hey, remember I said we'd get back to Sugar Salem? 4th and 1, Elia Matawatia, stuff block, pancake. These guys woke up with Bisquick in their ears in the morning. I tell you what, look at that one to get it in on 1st and goal. Matawatia, number 4, the pancake, back to back. We go to number 3 here. Phoenix Hovey's gonna find Cooper Lancaster here on the run, getting flushed out of the pocket. Fires it down the field about 40 yards. Lancaster grabs it in the end zone, no big deal, right?
Duke, people talk about all the time, like what are teams looking for at the next level, or that right there. If I'm Phoenix Hovey, that might lead my highlight reel.
Number 2, we go back to Cody. Star Valley strikes first with 2.5 minutes left on the blocking of Das Hoons, and the very next play, Akaika Pope heads up play. Is that an onside? Did they draw it up that way? I don't know. Akaika wouldn't tell you if it wasn't, but it doesn't happen without Tate Lawson dropping the pitch and wedge. right on the green. What could top that? Well, we go back to Sugar Salem for number one.
His feet, fires deep, looks down the field, and it is caught by Erickson! Caught by Roman Erickson in traffic! He did it again! How did he do it?
Roman fighting for it.
Post-game, Coach Young said, well, they watched the Bills do it the night before, so why not them? Before we go, we should take a look at our schedule for this weekend. Volleyball is at Natrona County, trying to earn their way into state with the regional tournament on Friday and Saturday. Football at 3 o'clock, 2:25, pregame on SVInews.com. And that's it with the sports season in fall starting to wrap up. See you guys tomorrow on the highlights.